Hello and welcome back to Data Analysis and Visualization. I'm Javita Christie, and I'm going to continue with my previous two videos and talk about data science for driving growth in e-commerce. And if you remember in the previous video, we discussed about acquisition and how analytics can be used for acquisition purposes. And we discussed a sales funnel. And in that sales funnel, the first layer was acquisition. The second layer was activation, and then the third layer was retention. So acquisition involves getting users to visit your website or to visit your channels, and activation involves users taking some sort of an action on your channel, for example, subscribing to your email list or subscribing to your YouTube channel or following your Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter page, and that's what activation is all about. And retention is the layer where users take some extra action other than subscription. So they might refer your website, your channel to somebody else and gain more users for you at the acquisition layer. So that is retention. And they might also take some extra action towards being a part of your e-commerce business. So these are the layers. And after this, of course, we have other two layers, but those layers are nothing compared to the layers, these three layers, because if these three layers are taken care of, then the remaining two layers, which involve generating revenue, will also be taken care of. So now, in the previous video, I've already discussed how analytics can be used for acquisition purposes. In this, we are going to discuss how analytics can be used for activation and retention. So let's begin. So we are going to see how analytics can be applied for activation. So user activation analytics provide a measure and gauge of your user activations over time. So you'll come to know how users activated, how many active users you have right now. And you can use these activation analytics to gauge how your user activation tactics are performing, allowing you to optimize your user signups even on a per channel basis. So for different channels, you might want to access different analytics and find out how users are engaging with those different channels, for example, YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, and how you can optimize the way you are the techniques that you are using for user activation. You can understand how you can optimize those techniques so that you can gain more user signups. So they are not just visiting your website, but they are finding something there which is interesting, which leads them to sign up. So for this, you would want to do a sign up rate monitoring. Analytics that reflect the number of new user signups, either in the form of email subscriptions or RSS subscriptions. This is what sign up rate monitoring is about. This metric gives you an idea of how well your website's content is meeting the wants and needs of newly acquired users. And these analytics are also a good gauge of the overall effectiveness of your calls to action, your prompts that tell users to sign up in exchange for some promised benefit to them. So you can understand what kinds of promises, what kinds of benefits your business or site or channel provides in order for users to sign up. So you can manage those sign up rates on different types of channels and apply analytics for gaining more active users to your business. Next is average session duration. So if you're working on growth for a client or employer, then you can access their Google Analytics account by having them add your Google account as an authorized user of their Google Analytics account. So Google Analytics, which I discussed in my previous video, which is a web analytics tool, it allows you to add other people as authorized users to your account. And this in turn will help in order to perform this in turn will allow you to help others who are involved with your company to understand how your analytics is working. So if you're working on growth for your own brand or website, then you should just sign up for a free Google Analytics account and then install Google Analytics tracking code into your site. So there are two ways. One way is that if you're working for a company, a client, or an employer, you can ask them to add you into their Google Analytics account and then use the data to gain growth for the business. And if on the other hand you are a user and you want to promote your own brand or website, then you can just sign up for a free Google Analytics account on the link given here and just install the Google Analytics tracking code into your website and start tracking average session duration. So whether you're working on behalf of a client or yourself, you must have your own Google account. And you can get one of those, obviously, everybody knows this now. You can get this account from accounts.google.com/signup. And once you've done that, you can check the average session durations. So what are average session durations? You can come to know how much time the users are spending on your website. And once you know how much time they are spending, you can understand, you can try to make deductions like on which days they are spending more time. That way you can know that these are the days when sales are going to be higher, maybe because people are free, for example, Sundays or holidays. And so you might want to give some lucrative, put up some lucrative offers that users might want to access on those days. And next is website heat maps for website optimization. What is a website heat map? A website heat map is a visual graphic that uses different types of colors to depict the areas of the web page where visitors are clicking with greatest and least intensity. So heat map is basically, it derives its name from actually heat, the way heat works. So when you see a heat map, which is used in weather forecast or just to show weather, you will see that sometimes the regions where there are high temperatures are all colored in darker shades of red or brighter shades of red than the regions that are sort of colder. So by looking at the map and seeing the different colors, you can understand which regions are hotter than others, and that's a heat map. And this type of a heat map can also be created for your website as well. So creating a heat map for a website is where you will create a map, a sort of a map for each and every page of your website. And then it shows on that page which particular region is the region where users are clicking more often. So greatest intensity of clicking is happening on which region? That the color of that region will be of a brighter shade. And then the regions with least intensity, where people are not very likely to click on, those regions will be of a lighter shade. So for example, if your web page is having a search box, then probably the search box is going to have the greatest clicking intensity and will be of a brightest shade. But if you say have a help section, then probably if your website's really good, people won't be clicking on the help region area of your web page. So it will be colored with least intensity with a lighter shade. Some of the websites or tools that allow you to create these types of heat maps for your website are SessionCam and ClickTail, and you can access both on the links provided here. So heat maps, both of these websites, they offer mouse click heat map data visualizations, which will show you how your customers and user segments are using your website. In other words, what website features and areas are more attractive to users. You can know that. So if you are providing an offer on your e-commerce website, For example, you have provided an offer on electronics and you've provided an offer on clothes, then you can come to know which one is more lucrative, which one your users find more lucrative. If the section where the offer is displayed for clothes is of a higher intensity on the heat map, then you will know that the users are at this time of the year more interested in buying clothes instead of electronics. And so you could increase the offers and sales that you provide on clothes. So this is how website heat maps can help in website optimization. This information tells you about the effectiveness of your activation tactics and your overall web design. If you see that user attention flow isn't focused toward your call to action areas, then you should perhaps redesign your page in a way that helps to redirect user focus. So maybe perhaps you have provided some lucrative offer, but because it's not placed properly on your web page, users are not able to click on it. So this is, for example, if you are providing some really nice offer, but that offer is not the first thing that pops up when I open your website, then I'll just click on something that I can see the first thing when I open your website. And so I will miss the offer that you are actually trying to give. And although it's a very good, lucrative offer, I am not able to access it. I'm not, my attention is not drawn to it because it's not strategically placed on your web page. Now we are moving on from activation to retentions, how you can apply analytics for retention. Retention analytics provide a measure of your user retention tactics. Retention analytics can help you boost customer loyalty or increase the amount of time your users spend interacting with your brand. Boosting your retentions is in large part a function of marketing strategy and psychology, but web analytics are also an integral part of maintaining and growing your brand's retention rates. So retention analytics doesn't just involve web analytics, it also involves marketing strategy and psychology of the users. So first you have email marketing open rates. Tracking and monitoring time series, collections of data on attribute values over time that capture email open rates can give you an idea of how well your email marketing tactics are performing in general. So this is where you can track and monitor and perform time series analysis that I'm going to be talking about later on in these video series in this playlist. So there you can see how different data is collected on attribute values over time, and it helps you to capture email open rate, which can give you an idea of how well your email marketing tactics are performing in general. For example, if you see a steady decline in open rates, either your subscribers aren't interested in the topics described in email headlines, or you're sending emails too frequently and spamming your users' inboxes. In other words, wearing out your welcome. High email open rates reflect a high level of subscriber loyalty, which is always a good thing. So having a high email open rate is a good thing, but sometimes you might find that it is declining. If you see a steady decline, which means over the time you are not seeing any increase, but you're just seeing a decrease in the rate, then you need to check why that is happening. So one of the reasons for that is that your subscribers are not finding what you're sending them very interesting. And another reason is that you are sending too many emails. And when you send emails too frequently, which people are not opening because they lose interest, then it ends up in the spam folders of your users' inboxes. And that's why they are not opening those emails. So these are the two reasons. There could be others. And checking the open rates. Open rates means how many emails that you have sent users are actually opening. For example, if you're receiving emails very frequently from from a website where you just went because you wanted to see something and they forced you to subscribe because in order to see what you want to see, you have to subscribe. So they want you to subscribe and you subscribed. And in that case, if you're receiving emails, you may not open them. So there are emails reaching, but they are not being opened. So you can check this rate of people opening the emails. And if this rate is high, then it shows a higher subscriber loyalty for your business, which is a good thing. The next is RSS View Rates. Tracking and monitoring time series that capture RSS view rates can give you an idea of how well your blog post titles are performing with your RSS subscribers. In other words, how well the blog content topic is matched to your subscribers' interests. This metric can also tell you whether your headline copy is intriguing enough to draw new RSS subscribers for a read. And high RSS view rates, they always reflect high levels of loyalty among your RSS subscribers. So this is RSS view rates. And if you track and monitor how your blog posts are doing, then you can understand whether your strategy over there is good or not, whether the blogs that you're posting, the headlines that you have is good or not. And we also have customer satisfaction monitoring, whether or not the customers, whatever they purchased through your e-commerce, are they satisfied with it? And for that, sentiment analysis is such a technique which you can apply, in which you can apply text mining and data categorization to web data in order to identify the feelings and attitudes of people and customers in your networks. So it is some sort of a social analytics technique. Some social analytics applications are available with built-in sentiment analysis features that you can directly use. So you don't have to write code much, okay? Or you just have to code something up yourself, because if you do that, then it would require more time, but you could use some of the ready-made social analytics applications. And whatever you choose, you should be sure to stay on top of what people are saying about your brand across your social media channels, because it's vital for the protection and proactive management of your brand's reputation. And as they always say, the customer is always right. So you must listen to what they are saying. And to do that, you have to do a sentiment analysis of all the social media channels that your brand is involved in. And if you understand, you just try to understand what people are saying, the reviews they are giving, whether they are positive or negative, because it's obviously not possible that you assign a person who's going to read each and everything written about your brand if your brand is really huge. So what you would want to do is attach some social media, some social analysis or sentiment analysis tool that could analyze these emotions and just give you that there are 70% people happy, 70% people sad, or 70 happy, 30% sad. How many are angry? So if this thing is clear to you, then you can understand how your brand is doing. So this is where I'm going to end this video, and I'll be back with the next one talking more about how data science is used for growth in e-commerce. So I'll see you there, and thank you for watching.